Good evening. I'd like to call the East Cocalico Board of Supervisors meeting for February 17th to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would ask everyone to please, as always, just double check any electronic devices, phones, things like that. Just make sure they're on vibrate or they're off. Thank you. This meeting was duly advertised in the Lancaster newspaper, and it was printed and published on December 1st of 2021. We did have an executive session, and that executive session occurred after our last Board of Supervisor meeting on February 3rd, and that executive session was for legal items. Okay, gentlemen, past meeting minutes for approval. These would be the meeting minutes for February 3rd's meeting. Any changes, corrections, anything else?
I have
Okay. No? Okay. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the Thursday, February 3rd, 2022 Board of Supervisors meeting minutes.
And I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, none. The motion carries. Okay, land planning, engineering.
That's me tonight.
You ready?
Yeah, you have an offer of a time extension from the developer of the Village of East Cocalico, which would extend the deadline for action on the subdivision and land development plan until May 19, 2022, to allow them to work through conditions of Planning Commission's recommendation of approval, as well as PennDOT right-of-way, PennDOT permit, things like that. That's the motion in front of you.
Sharon, did we expect anyone from?
No, I don't
Okay.
think we did them.
All right, so I'll make a motion. Well, actually,
I'll make a motion to accept the written time extension offer as submitted by the applicant's consultant dated February 9th, 2022, which will extend the deadline for action on the Village of East Cocalico subdivision and land development plan until May 19th, 2022.
I'll have a second on that.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. I'd like to make a comment here. I will be recusing myself from this vote. I actually live in Quail Hollow, and this is very closely tied and affiliated with the Quail Hollow development. And I was also on the board in Quail Hollow at the time that we did have some discussions with the developer in terms of trying to pull together some contractual items related to the two developments. So.
And I've had a past working relationship with the developer too, on farming the land. This is only a time extension.
Okay.
I don't know if it's relevant to vote on a time extension here under these circumstances.
This is primarily procedural. You know, I think that this can happen, and then we could just sort out with the solicitor how do we handle it when we get to actual approval. So,
Yeah.
Are there any comments or questions at this time? Because we do have a motion on the table.
Yeah, and I pull back my second. Any concerns?
It's a unique situation.
A little bit. Doesn't.
Sorry, you making a second, or you?
No, you're not. I mean,
I'll leave my second in,
Yeah, because it,
because my relationship could be over with that, from what I've been doing.
I mean, this is not really relatively an administrative item, so
Yeah,
I think probably you're okay with that. We can talk to Matt,
Yeah, we'll make sure we have a game plan.
you know,
when we come up.
afterward to figure out what to do.
Yeah, I did. I had recused in the past.
okay.
So, okay,
Well, it's just a time extension.
it's
It's
just
purely procedural. Okay,
we're transparent here.
yeah,
That's our
so,
concerns. Yeah.
now we got that out of the way. Any questions, comments? Okay.
So, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed with one recusal.
Okay, the next motion that you have is another time extension. This is the Matthew Grant Lot Annexation Plan. Action is needed by February 20th. The applicant has offered a time extension on the deadline for action until May 5, 2022. The Planning Commission has recommended conditional approval as of January 24th, and the applicant does have some items to work out, also primarily with PennDOT.
Hey Sharon, did we expect anyone representing the
No.
applicant here?
No.
Okay, so I will make a motion to accept the written time extension. I'm sorry, say that again, Sharon.
Offer as submitted by the applicant's consultant dated February 4th, 2022, which will extend the deadline for action on the Matthew Grant lot annexation plan until May 5th, 2022.
Thank you. Yeah, and that'll be for instrument number 6322704 and instrument number 5082254. Thanks, Sharon.
And I'll second that.
So we have a motion and a second. Any questions? Okay, seeing no questions, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, Reevestown Heights Development Stormwater Pipelining Project.
Yeah, this is a continuation of our efforts to get a temporary access construction easement, a permanent access easement on 5 properties in the Reevestown Heights development so that we can televise and clean and then align these stormwater pipes where we receive a grant to do so. They are trickling in. This is our second of 5, so we approved the last one at the last meeting, and we'll do them, hopefully next meeting we'll have all the 3 balance of them and we'll be able to do it at once. So this essentially gives the township and our contractor the right to access these facilities, to clean, televise them, to line them, and then we'll maintain them in the future. And there are small segments that are right now located outside of the right of way that are, right now we do not have that ability to do it without going on to that property. So the board has a motion to consider a motion to authorize the chairman of the board of supervisors to execute the temporary access and construction easement and permanent access easement between East Cocalico Township and David and Heather Pierre Domenico for Oriole Drive, Stevens, PA 17578.
Okay,
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions? Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, none. Motion carries.
Okay, next item, Church Street, SR 272 intersection. At the last meeting, we discussed the results of the study, the early study by Ritu concerning the potential improvements to the Church Street and 272 intersection. At that time, the board had authorized Ritu to come back with a proposal to look at the roundabout option and provide a proposal to do an advanced operational analysis of that intersection. So that was submitted by Ritu prior to this meeting. The board has a copy of it. They've engaged Kittleson and Associates to assist with further refining the design of the roundabout. The proposal details Ritu's plans concerning the advanced operational analysis, which includes conducting an advanced roundabout capacity analysis, reviewing the operations, looking for opportunities to simplify the roundabout lane configurations, and an updated traffic study. The second phase of that project includes the development of an advanced conceptual design, which is focusing on approach alignments, roundabout performance measures, fast paths, sight triangles, and design vehicle turning movements. Once that's done, they'll compile an updated design. They talked before they were going to flesh that out, and then an updated cost estimate of the new design. The cost for this deliverable is projected to be $8,800. The initial part of the study that we did so far was $14,500, so that'll bring us to a $23,300 cost. And I'm looking to see if I have, that's for everybody who was here or maybe was not here at the last meeting. That's what we're looking at. So the board has in front of them the copy of the proposal. And if you're inclined, you can have a motion to approve the project change order addendum submitted by Ritu for the Church Street 272 intersection improvement study, February 10th, 2022, at a cost of $8,800.
So this is the next step.
Yep. That we talked about.
We had talked about previously. So I will make a motion to approve the change order addendum submitted by Ritu for the Church Street and Service Route 272 intersection improvement study dated February 10, 2022 for a cost of $8,800.
I'll second that.
With a motion and a second. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Can I address something on this subject?
Yes, ma'am. Your name, please. Just
Deborah Barringer,
thank you.
I live at 56 Stony Run Village. I was wondering, before the 2 million and all this inconvenience of construction can happen, would it be possible to try using a different traffic light system? I lived in Denver most of my life, and Mr. Hesher will probably have some answers to what I learned in college, but Denver has a square with a traffic light with no left lanes, but it's all controlled by the traffic light itself. East goes, then west goes, and north goes, south goes. Nobody waits for anybody, it works. Could that not happen in there with the sensor lights? Where, okay, everybody coming from Denver goes right or left or straight ahead. Then the traffic sensor determines there's not many more waiting. The next lane goes, and right, left, straight ahead, nobody waits for anybody. South and north the same way. It could be longer for the 272 traffic, so that more could get through. There's no hardly any accidents which you would know about that happen in Denver. And it seems it would be feasible to spend a little dollar on the traffic light change as $2 million for all the inconvenience and the turnaround.
I give that other drawing up.
No, I didn't bring the other drawing.
Maybe it's been studied already, but.
They did as part of the initial analysis, they looked at two options, and one was the roundabout, and the other was adding some turning lanes and making some signal adjustments at that intersection. And I think the one thing that makes it a little bit different than the Denver one is the fact of the amount of traffic that's there, that's traveling both on 272 and on Church Street. So
If the timing is right, you know, the school traffic, there's a long lane sometimes coming out of the school,
right.
and it just seems to flow.
Yeah, and they did, they looked at the queues that they were gonna see, not only now, but also in 2041. There were some issues with how much additional land that was gonna need to be taken to accommodate these extra turning lanes, as well as issues with coming out of some of the driveways and having to cross multiple lanes, you know, where you have now 2, you'd be up to 4. And then the cost element for that as well, the turn lane concept was 2.5 million, almost 2.56, and then this roundabout was 2.7 7, I believe. So they did study both and looked at the options. There was a long discussion at the last meeting concerning both options, and it appeared from a safety end, from a queuing end, that the roundabout was the best option, and you guys can add whatever you want.
Yeah, the other thing we talked about at the last meeting is from an engineering perspective, what they're starting to see is on some of these roundabouts, the safety factors actually seem to be higher than the red lights, than the signal intersections. If I remember correctly, the other comment or the other items we had discussed that came up were related to the maintenance long-term for the residents, the carrying cost of the maintenance over time for signalized intersections was a lot more expensive than roundabouts. So those were just a lot of the factors our engineering group had taken a look at when they made these proposals.
And I guess I'll add too, you know, the other intersection improvement had adding lanes, left turn lanes and such. It's more than just putting up a light. So for an intersection improvement, it's kind of one or the other. It's more than just adding traffic lights. You know, traffic lights are a ongoing expense. You know, electricity maintenance on them, plus the installation costs. You know, the idea of the circle eliminates that, which is not a bad thing. And when you get off-peak times with the traffic, nobody stops. Everybody keeps moving. So, you know, there's pluses and minuses to it. So that's kind of what we're weighing out.
And to add a little more to what Jeff just said, and for you, is when Jeff mentioned some of the safety, and I'm trying to find the drawings from the last meeting. I believe there was one part of the intersection when if somebody pulled out of, I believe it was the Redner's driveway, one of the driveways, they would actually be crossing almost 4 lanes to have to make a turn. So to make that left turn there, because there would be a right turn, there could potentially be a right turn lane, a center lane, and then the left turn lane. So when they're pulling out of that driveway, they would actually have to cross 3 or 4 lanes. And that was some of the safety factors that they were looking at when they came up with the consideration.
And the pedestrian factor as well.
Right, exactly.
Well, I just thought it worked in Denver, and Denver's small, but
Mhm.
it's worth a try anyway.
And it's valid comments. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Jerry Haas. This is a single turn roundabout, a single lane roundabout, excuse me. How wide is that lane?
It's yet to be developed.
Yeah, that's part of this next step, is the granularity, the details behind.
Okay.
Okay, what's the width gonna actually look like? What's that? So what they did in the first proposal is, Ritu came to us and we asked them, and what they did in essence was, we did an analysis of the traffic, we did analysis of some of the safety parameters and the impacts they're gonna have. They came to us with 3 proposals, 3 ideas, 3 concepts, general concepts. Which one do you think the municipality would be most beneficial for the municipality? So when we had that discussion, that's when we said, okay, it seems at this point that the roundabout is the best way to go. So now what they're doing now is they're going back so that it's no longer just a large, high-level concept. It now becomes a lot more granularity, a lot more detail behind exactly, now that they know we're interested in a circle there. What's the width of the circle? How long are the approaches? There's there's the sweeping right turn lanes there, how long those are gonna be, how wide those are gonna be. So those are the details they're working on now for their next report. So that question's a good question. We will have that level of detail, we should have that level of detail when this next report comes in from them.
Thank you.
Okay?
Traffic counts, were taken only 15 minutes apart. That's all they studied, okay? Vehicle classifications and right turns in red, RTOR. What is RTOR?
I have to find a report. What's that?
Right turn.
Right turn, right turn, right on that?
Right turn on red.
Thanks, Jeff.
Alright.
Okay? Any other questions? Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, none, motion carries. Okay, traffic impact fee proposed agreements. Mike.
Yeah, at the last meeting, we discussed the 2 sample copies of the proposed traffic impact fee agreements. One offering a deferment in regard to the time frame to make those payments, and the other looking at a reduced fee or a fee reduction agreement. We did talk some of the particulars with those in regard to how long should that time frame be as to where the payment's deferred and how much they be paid. The discussion ended up being quarterly and during a 24-month period. The other component was looking for the reduced fee part, a reduction of what percentage that we require payment for the developer to sign off on the agreement, and we sort of matched that with Manheim Township's 80%. So took those kind of particulars, put them into the agreements for the board to take a look at tonight to see how you feel. Also provided, there was a question about what type of impacts could this possibly have. So really just ran the projects in 2021 where a transportation impact fee was paid, and just broke that down as to what that 80% TIF fee payment would be and what the difference would be, as well as looked at, sort of projected ahead for 2022 based off the projects that we know are early on in the scope of being developed. So these obviously could change at any time and probably will change, but just to give the board an idea, if you look at, like, for instance, in 2021, the amount of TIF fee payments that would be required would have been $81,578. The 80% of that is $65,262, and the difference was a savings of $16,315.60 to the developer. Now, in lieu of that, the township gets the items that we were looking for. One, that the monies can be will be able to be used for any transportation project in the township, so there's an increased amount of flexibility there. The second component was that the developer could not come back at any time to seek a refund. They would be essentially signing over those rights to do that in exchange for paying a reduced amount, 80% as opposed to 100%. The way it works now, until we get an agreement in place, is the board has taken action on those requests to make a motion to essentially allow a certain amount of time, up to 2 years, that people could defer their payments. So we have arrangements now for the ones in 2021. One of them is going to pay it monthly, the other one's paying it quarterly, and the other one's going to pay it at the end of the 24-month period. So we wanted to sort of bring that in, make sure that we were protected, make sure that we standardize it, and then give the developer, if this gets approved, the options to pick which one works best for their project. For the projects in planning and for 2022, just to give you a scope, we're looking at the possibility of $1 million, a little over $1 million in TIF fees. 80% of that would be $855,000, $213,000 roughly would be the difference. So really that was just based off the board's request to see what type of, with 80%, what type of incentive is that for a developer? Are they going to pick that or not, or are we going to be looking at the deferred options? So for the board moving forward, we took the comments from the last meeting, incorporated them into the agreements based off those parameters, and it's for your discussion tonight if you want to look at something else there, make any other modifications, or if you feel comfortable enough moving ahead with these agreements, you can make that motion, and then as a development comes in, we have two instruments to present to them as they consider moving forward with their transportation impact.
The one thing, the quarterly was in, that was the one thing I didn't see.
In the
Quarterly.
It should be in that,
That's the one I missed. Okay.
in your deferral one. Yeah, it's the,
Got it.
developer shall pay the township blank every quarter for a total of 8 quarters, maximum of 24 months.
24-month max, right, on a quarterly, because monthly would have been
Too much.
county wise. Okay. Okay, what's the wish of the board?
I think going with the 20% discount, like we talked about last time, was a great idea, pretty aggressive. I think we should move forward with it.
Yeah, I think it's hard to know exactly what the enticement to get people or developers to pay all at once would be. It's a little bit of a stab in the dark of, is 20% enough, or would 15 be enough, or 25 is it going to take? It's hard to say, but I think that 20 is a nice medium number there to work off of. So I think that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with the documents as they are, because they reflect the spirit of what we discussed on February 3rd. And to your point, Jeff and Lorenzo, it's, we're modeling it behind Manheim right now.
Yeah.
Because there's just so little data out there.
Right.
With numerous municipalities. There just aren't a lot of them that do this. So.
I think any developer will be appreciative that we actually have a plan moving forward. We can present it to them when they come. And as they say, we have our ducks in a row.
Hey, do I?
So I guess I'll make a motion to approve the transportation impact fee waiver fee deferral agreement and the transportation impact fee waiver fee reduction agreement.
And I will second that. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Okay. We have a motion and a second. No questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, none, and the motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
Judy, thank you for the numbers. They're helpful.
Okay, next item, fuel sharing agreement. We have a copy of the 2022-2023 joint fuel purchase agreement with the Cocalico School District. The agreement is the standard one that we've had for the last 2 years. It's just updated with the new year numbers. The school district right now is bidding both diesel and gasoline fuel for 2022-2023. Expect that'll be open in March. We had projected using for the next year 3,900 gallons of diesel and 13,500 gallons of gas for the road department and the police department. So those numbers are based off of what we've seen the past year. We just totaled them up and estimated so they can put those into the bid. So it seems to work well for us. It worked well for the police. Road department works well. So it's a nice way of all the community working together to reduce our cost and to make sure this is accessible to all of us. So unless there's something that you want to discuss further, it's pretty standard. There's a motion to authorize the Board of Supervisors chairperson to execute the 2022-2023 fuel agreement between East Cocalico Township and the Cocalico School District.
I guess just as a little background information, it was 2 years ago that their price of gasoline was less than $1 a gallon is what we were purchasing for. This year, it's about double that, up closer to $2 a gallon. I would expect a significant increase on what we had in the past. The diesel fuel this year is a little bit over $2 a gallon. So that's without any road tax on it, tax exempt on that. So just an FYI. So, but we did budget quite a bit more.
Yeah, we budgeted, realizing we got 6 months of a set number and 6 months of a number that we're not quite sure is gonna be, so we budgeted conservatively for that, so. But we were very excited that first year.
Yeah.
Gas at 90 some cents.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get that lucky this year.
We're estimating it's up about 108%.
Yeah, not with
To do these numbers.
the current inflation rate.
But no, this has been a good deal for us overall. The officers can run in there anytime and fill up, as been the road crew. It's worked good for us.
So I'll make a motion to authorize the Board of Supervisors chairperson to execute the 2022-2023 fuel agreement between East Cocalico Township and the Cocalico School District.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second. No questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, none, and the motion carries. Okay,
I keep us moving.
just keep us right into your report.
Hold anybody up tonight. We have under the manager's report, the first item is our park trash cans. And last year, we had a series of containers that we've had throughout the township parks that were starting to really deteriorate and kind of show their age and not really be all that a nice presentation for our park system. So we did replace 2 cans in 2021, one at the Stony Point Park and one at the old Homestead Playground. They're blue containers with lids on top of them. They're all standard 55-gallon containers. So the road crew has asked about, can we move ahead with purchasing 5 additional ones and replacing all those containers at the Fishing Creek Park, the lower pool parking lot, the basketball court by the pool, the tennis court by the pool, and the skate park location. Containers are nice. They're not the cheapest containers in the world, but they're $627.70 for the device that will put them in the ground, where you can secure them to the size and the lid. So we're looking at about $3,138.50 to purchase and replace these. It should last a long time. It should reflect well for the park, and you figure we've been just sort of using other containers in the past, and they've lived their life. So take any questions, but if not, there's a motion to purchase 5 55-gallon trash containers, lids, stands from Kirby Built to be installed in the township's park system. The goal is to do it in February now, because last time it took about 8 weeks to get them in, maybe a little bit longer. Hopefully this way we'll have them in as the park system opens up and all of our citizens are down at the park enjoying what we have.
I guess the days of the 55-gallon drum are long past.
Yeah. Progress.
Okay, I will make a motion to purchase 5, quantity 5, 55-gallon trash containers, lids, and stands from Kirby Built to be installed in the township's park system at a cost of $3,138.50 minus shipping. And do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
So we have a motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, none. Motion carries. Thank you.
Next item is the Fishing Creek Park ash tree removal estimates. If you recall, last year, towards the end of the year, we removed a number of ash trees that were dead at the Fishing Creek Park. And the thought at that time was the ones we removed then were in the worst condition, and the concern was having them fall or injure somebody down in that area. We held off at that time to take them all down because we didn't want essentially a park that was just barren and there were just tree stumps there. So these that we have now were in a state of dying and are probably could be defined as being dead. So we did get quotes from the Cocalico Tree Service, $5,135 to remove those 13 trees. Martzall Property Management submitted a quote of $16,250, and Messenger Tree Service indicated that they would not be able to provide a quote for the project. The removal of these trees is part of a project that the rec board's working on to restore and have a community planning project down at Fishing Creek Park. We did submit, and we have got accepted, we just don't know how many trees we're going to get yet from the state to replace those trees down there. We were looking to get 20 free trees and stakes and everything that comes with those so that we could have a tree planting in April on the 23rd. I believe the record said April 23rd, right at 9 o'clock. And hopefully a way of just getting community involvement, diversifying the trees that are down there and beautifying that park itself. So the first step that we're talking about now is removing the dead trees that are there. The next one we'll talk about in a couple seconds is trying to get rid of the stumps that are scattered through there, and all in anticipation of planting new trees down in that area. So the board has in front of them a motion to contract with Cocalico Tree Service to cut and remove 13 dead ash trees at the Fishing Creek Park at a cost of $5,135. As per quote B.
Now, the quote, Mike, says at least 13. Are we solid on that number, or where are we?
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of concern that one looked like it was close, but they were concerned that if they took that tree down prematurely, it could impact another tree. At this point in time, the plan is not to take it down, but if we get out there and we find that by the time they get out, if something else has happened, remember we had heavy winds today, if we see some other type of damage, we at least have the ability then, we have a unit cost to be able to go out and mobilize and take that down. The goal is 13 though, lucky 13.
But that is that's a solid per unit price if it is another tree.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, unfortunately, they keep passing away. So they're a hazard there, standing the way they are, and they got to come out.
It's been a yearly occurrence.
Yeah, for several years now. I guess kudos for Denver for how many years ago was that when you took them all out?
Yeah, we took 97 of them out at that time. But at that time, it was early and we were able to sell them, so we didn't have to pay. But once they're dead, their value is gone and you're then paying to remove them. So. Although there was an article that we were doing that because I was getting all those trees for free for firewood, but I don't have firewood. So I don't know what I would do with all those trees, but rest assured, there's not one branch came back to my house. But so you have to take the good with the bad, right? But yeah, this will give us a. I mean, it's amazing. Who'd ever thought? Before that, I didn't know an ash tree from another tree and that they were in danger. But you see how many ash trees are in our community and what this has done to our area. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, what's the wish of the board?
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to contract with Cocalico Tree Service to cut and remove 13 dead ash trees at Fishing Creek Park at the cost of $5,135 as per their quote number 8.
Okay, and do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Will this project,
Name.
Judy Loomis, Financial Administrator, will this project be coming out of the Recreation Fund budget or out of the General Fund budget?
I think we'll look out of the general fund budget.
Yeah, I think it's general fund.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries.
All right, continuing with our Fishing Creek Park theme, we have, with the removal of these ash trees as well as the other trees that were removed last year, we have a total of 45 tree stumps at the Fishing Creek Park and 32 at the Reamstown Municipal Park that have been marked for removal. So we have quite a number of trees that have been taken down over time. This gives you an idea of it. And really at the time, the goal was to eliminate the hazard and get the trees down and then come up with a plan for how we're going to get rid of the stumps themselves. So we did contact, again, Cocalico Tree Service, Martell Property Management, Messner's Tree Service, and Martin's Tree Service to get cost quotations for this work. Cocalico Tree Service came in at the lowest price of $107 per stump. And that's included, that's at the Fishing Creek Park. This is to grind and remove the stumps and the debris from the site. And then the road crew would have to go in and then reseed, fill up and then reseed. The cost at the Fish Creek Park is $4,815. The cost for the tree removal at the Reamstown, we're calling it Reamstown Municipal Park. That's what I've been calling it since I've been here, so I hope I'm not referring to the wrong park, but that's where we have, where the pool is. That is $128 to grind the 32 stumps. There's some, obviously, fewer stumps there, but some different conditions out on the, where those stumps are. And that cost comes to $4,096. So the total cost to grind and haul away the debris for these 77 tree stumps is $8,911. So we have, in comparison, they were less than what we saw with Martzall. I think Martzall was $155 for the stumps at the Reamstown Park. So we have two motions to consider. And again, these are also, as I mentioned, based on a unit cost. So if we go down when we're doing the final marking and we find that there's a series of stumps that maybe we want to keep by the stream bank down at Fishing Creek, we can do that as well to keep it stabilized and then just reduce the number. I think the goal was to not leave a whole swath of stumps scattered throughout the area, and then we have to come back again and again to do that. So you have your two motions there to contract with Cocalico Tree Service to grind and remove debris. The one is Fishing Creek Park at $4,815, and the other one is for 32 tree stumps at the Reamstown Municipal Park at a cost of $4,096. So if you want to discuss that, this is the first you're seeing these numbers and this plan, so we have some discussion.
Is Brett on tonight? I have a couple questions for him about this.
Yes, you're on Zoom.
Yes, I am.
Okay. You're familiar with the quotes we're talking about, Brett?
Yes, I am.
More than $2,500 of it is to remove debris from the sites. We had, I guess, discussed this briefly earlier in the week here. Is that something the crew could be doing with the trucks and equipment we have, or?
And yeah, Jeff, just to kind of, me and Mike had kind of touched base with this as well. It is something that the road crew can take care of. We'd be maybe a couple $100 cheaper on the price to allow us to take care of that. With them being able to take care of it, it gives us focus on other areas or doing something else within the township. But it is something that we have the availability and capability of doing. I basically got those two prices to give the option on getting the whole entire job done to allow us to do other projects, or have them take the stumps, save the little money, and have us do it. Is why the quotes are broken down into them hauling the debris away or doing the stump removal, or both, just to have that option available. But that is, like I said, that is something the road crew can take care of. The Mike, what did we figure out the difference was? A couple $100, I think it was, to.
Yeah, it was really, really a small difference. I mean, there was two different components to it. We just took the number of employees, the amount of time,
Yep.
and their rate, and
The length.
compare that to what we were seeing cost. So, the one thing is, if we have the contractor do it, they have to dispose, that's included in this. We looked at the possibility, though, of maybe taking the chippings that were down at the Fishing Creek Park and spreading them. I guess there was a stone path that I cut through there at one time, and maybe could that be something that would have a sort of a chipped sort of path to go through. But really, the reason why I wanted to do that was so we didn't have to go and pay to take them, to dump them somewhere. So we were trying to keep that on site, and by doing that, spreading was going to increase the number of hours, and it was going to be more cost effective for us to contract with the service as opposed to us.
So you're saying you'd be investing a lot of time to do it yourself.
And I think we figured 3 to 4 days for both, a combination for both parks. Maybe a day and a half and 2 days, or a day and a half and a day and a half at either area to get that cleaned up with the crew. Sorry, I lost you there for a second.
So you're saying there's more time involved with the crew than just a day or two then?
Between the both parks and the different locations at the Reamstown Park, with it being two different locations, it would be, yeah, a total of 3 to 4 days, I would think, between both areas there, and then another day of Fishing Creek, and we'd have to follow behind, obviously, the tree removal of the 13 trees at Fishing Creek. Correct.
So from a cost analysis, you're pretty even outside
Yeah.
of disposal and stuff, that's all. I mean, if we were gonna do it ourselves, which you could very well do, we would try to find a way of repurposing it so that we'd have to pay to dispose of it.
Correct.
Then you have the time value of trying to figure out how to repurpose it.
Yeah.
That you gotta add into your calculation.
I hear you.
One other consideration on that is the park floods, and if you put wood chips down there, they're all gonna float downstream and pollute the stream. You don't really want that.
Pull a stone, as a stone floating downstream.
If it's the real fine volcanic stuff, it might, but not the limestone from around here.
Well, I guess it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're looking at 4, 10, and then $15,000 to cut trees and stumps and get them cleared out, so.
Trees that are dying.
What did Cocalico give you as a time frame, Brad, on getting this done?
I'm sorry, what was that, Jeff?
What did Cocalico give you as a time frame?
They've been pretty quick as far as getting in, and I would imagine within the next month and a half, he should be able to get in there. And I know Raymond, when I talked to Raymond about it, I know he was looking at, March, April. So I would imagine they're both pretty well in the same kind of time frame.
And we have a planning schedule for April 23rd, so
It's gotta be
trees are going to be cut and removed before April 23rd.
Seeding done.
Yes, exactly.
Correct.
You good?
Okay.
All right, so I'll make a motion to contract with Cocalico Tree Service to grind and remove debris from 45 tree stumps at the Fishing Creek Park at a cost of $4,815 as per quote number 9.
And I will second that. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Warren wise, and maybe just twofold here. Nothing in that quote is for hauling topsoil in and seeding, is that correct?
Yeah, we'll be doing the seeding, topsoil seeding. That's just cleaning up the, grinding the stump out and cleaning up the stump. Resident.
So the exact line items are grind stumps down below grade level, and then all stump debris from site.
Okay, but could you bring some of that back here to the woody waste pile?
That would be for Brett. Would that be for Brett?
I guess, I mean, it'd save them.
Well, we pay
They
to
pay to remove
move the woody waste pile. So right now in that price, they're paying to remove.
Correct. And that's what
So if not, we'd have to pull it and then we'd pay eventually.
So if they bring it here, we're gonna pay when they remove the woody waste pile anyway. This way, they've got the responsibility of removing it, the liability of removing it, to taking it where they're supposed to take it.
Yeah, I was only hoping to reuse it somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Something, but
Doesn't have a lot of dirt in it, it's something, but, yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
There's another question in the back.
Yes, sir.
This is Edward McElwanis. What about the chips for like the playgrounds? There's a lot of playgrounds in the area, can't use chips. They're kind of mulch.
Certified playground.
Yeah, it's specific.
Scratch that.
There would probably be a little bit of dirt mixed in and.
No, there's not.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So there'll be contaminants in it. Okay. Yeah, you want to do the other one also? Sure.
do we vote on that one?
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't, not yet. So we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, none, motion carries.
I'll also make a motion to contract with Cocalico Tree Service to grind and remove debris from 32 tree stumps at the Reamstown Municipal Park at a cost of $4,096 as per quote number 7.
Okay, and I will second that. So we have a motion and a second. Any questions? Okay, motion and second, no questions. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you.
And I guess just as an addendum to that, Mike, they'll be in there when it's fit and not when it's muddy.
Yeah, we don't want to make any more.
Thank you.
Winter's over, isn't it? It's 60 degrees. It's spring.
March is coming,
I know, wishful thinking.
in like a lion out.
Okay, next item, Reamstown Community Pool. Those of you aware, we have an issue at the shower and the women's restroom at the Reamstown Pool. We have some cracking and some damaged block wall. Was identified last year as part of our inspection of the facility, and we budgeted and planned to have that taken care of this year before the pool opened. Brett did reach out to some local masonry contractors to see if we could get a price. We did get one, Bruce Hanley from Hanley Masonry, I hope I'm saying that correct, to repair that block wall at the restroom at the pool. The projected cost is between $2,000 and $2,500. The recommendation from the road crew and from Mr. Hopper was to move ahead with that. Again, that money is included in the 2022 budget. We did plan for this work to be done. Before the board considers the motion, Brett, was there a time frame he was looking to get in to do that work?
Yeah, so he is able, as soon as he can basically get the approval and get in there, I would say, again, within, obviously, with March approaching, April approaching pretty quickly, he knows that needs to get done pretty quick, and he's quick and responsive. But I would figure within the next, same thing, within the next month to get in there and get started and get that taken care of. And just to kind of add to that, there is another section of that pool that we are waiting a quote for as far as the coping around the baby pool. He's just waiting for the pricing come back from the vendor, and I'll have that available at hopefully the next meeting as well.
So all those are components of the checklist of things that we found at the pool last year. The goal was to try and get squared away before we get into the start of the pool planning season for this year. So there's a motion to contract with Hanley Masonry LLC to repair a damaged block wall in the women's restroom for Reamstown Community Pool at a cost not to exceed $2,500.
Just a question, Mike, were they contacted to work on the pool coping as well, or?
Yeah, that's what I think. I believe, Brett, you're ready to get the proposal back from them, correct?
Yeah, and that's what I was referring to. Henley is the same contractor that's given us a quote for the pool coping. He's just waiting for a price to come back from the vendor on the exact, with the price of everything right now. He's just waiting for an updated cost for the coping, the availability for the coping. And once he has that for me, is what I'm hoping for the next meeting. I just reached out to him yesterday, and he had stated that he's still waiting back for a price on that. So once I have that, I will get that in as soon as I have it.
I guess the pool has to be open to do that.
Yes, so the baby, and I had talked to Henley about that. So this is the coping in the baby pool. The baby pool is typically the last fill up section. We get the kind of the big pool up and running. So we do have some time and flexibility is there. And as far as draining, it can be drained separately to get that work done and filled back up basically and get up and running.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to contract with Hanley Masonry LLC to repair the block wall in the women's restroom at the Reamstown Community Pool at a cost not to exceed $2,500.
And I will second that. Any questions? So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, none. Motion carries.
Okay, I know, I got a couple more, but I think we're done spending money on those. What we have next is an invoice bill payment process draft resolution. The township meets obviously twice a month. We have been finding at certain times, particularly when we receive either an email or the mail, that we're getting some invoices that are coming in that if we wait to pay after the next township meeting, we send them in, we're getting assessed either a fee or the threat of getting a fee, correct, Judy? So the thought was, is there a process that we can put in place to approve disbursements of these few bills that come in like this, so that we can have them paid and submit it, we don't get any fees for it, and then we return back to the supervisors meeting, the next meeting, and have that officially part of the public record. So I did put together a draft resolution for the board to consider. It's the first we're seeing it for tonight, so not that I'm anticipating any action, but did want to give you a chance to review it. I did submit it to the solicitor, but I haven't heard back from the solicitor yet. And essentially this one, the way it's drafted is, would delegate the township manager the authority to approve and release all unusual and ordinary disbursements which become due and payable in the intervals between public meetings, up to including $10,000 each. The reason why the $10,000 limit was there is, recall, that's where we set our limit for our credit card. And so if we do have that and we don't want to get a credit card fee charged, we could do that. The report of all such disbursements would be approved and released by the township manager and submitted to the board at the next public meeting. So we wouldn't be bypassing the process of having the two supervisors sign off on it. It really would be just making sure we're able to have a process in place to be able to not have penalties and to be able to pay these things on time and still follow the procedures we need to, so that it gets board approval and the public gets to see what we're spending our money on. So this is your first shot at looking at it. If you have any comments or changes or thoughts, let me know, and we can try to finalize this. And if you want to add anything else to it.
Yeah, just the fact that some of the longer distance mail, the US mail system, it's taken longer to get around, and I think that's, Judy would agree too, that's one of the issues we've been seeing here, and it's become evident to me we're just gonna have to wind up taking care of things on a weekly basis instead of every 2 weeks to get things paid on time. So, I don't know if you have any other observations, Judy, or? Okay, fair enough. So I think it still leaves the approval process in place with Mike and Judy and the two treasurers. So, going forward, I think this legal statement here helps cover us as far as showing what needs to be done when. So, I don't know, gentlemen, if you have any other comments there or thoughts.
And we can wait till, we can put this on, see if we get any comments or any revisions from the solicitor, and then if we don't have any other comments,
I think that would be
we can add it on the next meeting.
That would be pretty good.
Two other quick items. The Regional Comprehensive Plan Update Committee has been meeting, and they have just issued a survey, which is now live, and this is really more of a way of just trying to make sure you guys are all aware. There's actual copies, hard copies outside here, but if you go on the township website, go on the county website, the survey's there, and it's really looking for public input to see how we want the East Cocalico and the Cocalico region to look 20 years from now. There's been representatives from the 4 municipalities and the school district meeting with the county to update our comprehensive plan, which goes back to, I think, 2003. And it's sort of mirrored and matched to the county's Places 2040 comprehensive plan, which talks about creating great places and connecting people, place, and opportunity, taking care of what we have, growing responsibly, and thinking beyond boundaries. So all of us get an opportunity from the comfort of our own home, if we have internet connection, or you can take it here, to have a voice in what that looks like the next 20 years. So I just really wanted to mention it. It's on the website, it'll be in the newsletter, I think. And we want to make sure as many people here in the township get a chance to weigh in and let people know what you're thinking we should be looking like in not only East Cocalico, but the Cocalico region into the future. So take advantage of that if you can. If you have any questions, feel free to call here. I can try to fill you in, or anybody in the office can fill you in. Sharon can fill you in as well. But really it took, I think I did it this morning, and it took, I don't know, maybe about 15 minutes.
Same. I did it yesterday.
That's because I kept switching my choices. I did it.
Well,
I'm thinking if I tell you 15 minutes, that might seem long, but you can get through, it really is a good survey. And what better way to get a chance to have your voice heard and not have to come, you can't make all those meetings and so forth. So that was just sort of a reminder for everybody. And lastly, for me anyway, the Wabash Road telephone pole dilemma. You can't, it doesn't seem like there's a day that goes by that the pole is not struck, and now I believe we have 3 poles there, right? So we're up in the ante a little bit. But I did contact PennDOT today. Back in December, we had sent in the report to try and modify the signage that we have there. And PennDOT, when I called them today, got back to me and said that yes, what the township looking to do by removing the wait signs and the accept local delivery signs for trucks traveling on Line Road towards Denver and making a right on the Wabash. Right now, that's going to be changed, and you're not going to be able to make that right-hand turn. Any truck will not be able to make a right-hand turn there. So that will be posted after the township has to go. We have to revise the ordinance, get that approved, and then we can post those signs. So that should hopefully address some of the. I don't know what that meant. Here's another component of it. That will hopefully address some of the issues with the trucks turning there and getting stuck on a regular basis. The other component of that is that telephone pole, which is taped together right now. What are we going to do with that? PP&L had submitted a plan to, initially they were going to remove that pole, place a couple other poles, and then try and make sure they eliminated that hazard. I spoke with the gentleman from PP&L today to see where they were. He had indicated that they've spent over $60,000 responding and repairing and replacing that pole since this has all started happening. And I know we have the Equids are here who see it every day as part of their front yard.
It's a nightmare. Yes.
Right. So PP&L is proposing, as you can see here, this is Wabash. You really can't see. You can see my cursor a little bit there. This is Wabash here coming up to Line Road in this area here. So they are going to be taking that the electric line across Wabash, run that across Line Road over to Indiantown Road, and then come back across. There's some existing D&E or Windstream poles that are here. They will be installing though one new pole here back from the intersection to be able to provide what they need, as these lines, from what I understand, need to touch each other in order to be activated. So there's one pole that's going to go in there. They did submit that to, that's in PP&L's right of way, or it's in PennDOT's right of way. They submitted to PennDOT for approval, and they expect that once that's approved in the next month or 2, maybe, hopefully, that they will then be able to remove the old pole with the brace on it, install that there, and hopefully by that time we already have our signs up, and maybe we address this intersection for a long term.
My name is Anna Ekman, and I hope you have those signs up before 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a sign in my yard myself.
Yeah, we'll definitely, we have to just modify the ordinance, and I guess you weren't handing cookies out, were you? They said a nice person was on that gone getting cookies to people, but. So yeah, our goal really, the only thing we're waiting for is, if you recall, we also submitted to change the restrictions on Wabash Road between 272 and Reevestown Road. And the goal would be for PennDOT to approve that quickly so that we can do one ordinance and one replacement of the signs and get this all done. And really, those up there weren't an issue primarily with truck traffic outside of, we didn't have the necessary study to be able to document that, so we're just trying to clean that whole part up. So the goal would be for us to get that back, do this all at one time. We have the solicitor advertise the ordinance, we approve it, we put the signs up. In the interim, we can order the signs as we know which signs need to go up, and we'll take care of our part.
I have another question. Are you putting one up at Four Seasons so they can't make a left to come down Wabash?
We did talk to Four Seasons about trying to direct all their trucks to the right, and they are aware that there will be a sign across the street saying.
But are you putting one across the street?
The township would, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And that was recommended by the township transportation engineer as well.
They do have one on their property,
Yeah, but they don't listen to that.
just saying, they do have
Well,
one
yeah,
there
we know
showing
they do have one
no
there.
left turn,
They
but
don't look at that. They won't look at the other one either, but that's okay.
Okay, so that is, at least we're trying to get to the, that issue resolved, hopefully quicker than and slower, and we'll get that all done. And that's all I have.
You sure?
I hope. Everybody's like.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Chief?
Good evening. I just have a few things. I would ask to table the hiring request on the agenda until next meeting. Today, a letter was received from the District Attorney of Lancaster County, from Heather Adams, and it is the normal invoice and a request for funding for the Lancaster County Drug Task Force, also known as the DTF. And they are requesting a donation from the township of $10,767, and it's usually $1 per resident, is what they go off of, and that was according to the 2020 census. District Attorney Adams is trying to change a few things in the task force, how it's funded, and just to give you a little insight of what's in the letter. 2021, the DTF seized 59 grams of heroin or fentanyl, 34 pounds of marijuana, 4.5 pounds of cocaine, and most notably 12 pounds of methamphetamine, which is the controlled substance we're seeing the most in the area. It seized $515,199.48 in US currency, and also very important, removed 40 weapons from the streets. So this is the normal request in reference to the donation for, excuse me, the drug task force. I don't know if you have a motion in your packet or you want to. Is there one in there, Mike?
No, there's just, would be, since this just arrived, and it's generally a budgeted item, that we can have it included with the set of bills at the next meeting. Or if you want to make an official motion, we can have it on the next meeting agenda so that people can tie into the fact that East Cocalico is contributing to that. Whatever your preference would be.
Let's make an official motion for the next meeting.
Just a question with that, Chief. When they announced that 40 municipalities contributed, does that mean that there's several that don't, or what's your take on that?
I do think some do not, but I can't speak to exactly how many.
Okay.
I think it's a worthwhile cause, obviously. Again, we do it every year, so in my opinion, we should continue to try to support them.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Sure. And the last thing is something I brought up at last meeting, but I think there was an estimate in the packet for the 5 in-car computers that I had spoken about, and I been in contact with GTAC. The initial thought was to buy the V110 G6 computers, which are ruggedized computers that we have in the cars now. This is a newer model, but that cost estimate came out to, I have to remove that.
So it was approximately $19,000, due to the fact that we did not need the docking stations because they're already in the car. So the request I have is to purchase the 5 GTAC K120 in-car computers. It would include what they call a bumper-to-bumper warranty. And the total cost of these items that are very necessary would be $14,785. I asked Judy on her very slow day today, because she was not doing anything else, to pull a couple of numbers. And I believe the last time, the computers that I'm looking to replace were purchased in 2013, 14, and 15. So they're at end of life and need to be replaced. That's why this request that's why I'm making this request. And these computers are available immediately. There's no wait.
No endless lead time.
That's what I'm told.
They're not on a container ship
No, they're not. They're in stock.
off of LA. Okay, what's the wish of the board?
I guess the good thing there, it says bumper to bumper warranty plus the extended warranty.
Yes.
So we'll have 5 years.
Yes. I'm knocking on wood. I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. The last 5 are the ones I'm looking to replace, had no issues. We didn't need to use the warranty. And that's in the car when it's 4 degrees outside, and that's in a car when it gets to 100, whatever, when the windows are up and they're locked in the summertime. So
Yeah, because they remain in the unit.
they do.
So they're going through some pretty extensive temperature cycling. Okay.
These new ones can be removed or not?
Yeah, they are. It's a different setup a little bit. They are actual tablets that dock into a keyboard.
Mhm.
So if they would need to be taken out, they can just be removed from the system.
Sounds like more advanced, and that's obviously, I guess, can we make that motion?
Yeah, I'll make that motion. I'll make a motion that we go ahead and authorize the purchase of 5 Gentech K120 Intel Core i7 processor with webcam and tablet hard-handled units for the police department per quote number ITS 35NJ again. Quote number ITS 051235NJ in the amount of $14,785.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any questions?
Can we just verify the funding source for
What you paying for?
it? So go on the record. I spent all mine for it. But that's gonna come out of, it's not budgeting your budget, it's out of the ARPA budget.
That's our
Or the
funding.
Right.
American recovery money from the feds, which is endless. You saw me wink. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, none, motion carries.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Any questions? Any questions for the chief? Okay, thank you. Sharon.
The only thing I have, for anyone, I don't know, Lorenzo, maybe, since you're new, I'll just explain briefly that we have a process that we offer anyone who is contemplating bringing in subdivision, land development, stormwater management proposal into the township, who's not yet ready to, bring a formal plan submission in, may not even, know that they want to purchase a property yet. Something called a pre-application process. They can come in, meet with whatever staff members are appropriate, whatever consultants are appropriate if it has traffic implications, we have John Schick here. If there are water and sewer, implications, we have the authority here and so forth. And they just fill out a simple little application with contact information, property address and so forth. And they understand that they'll be responsible for paying for the time of the consultants who are here and potentially the staff time. So what I'd like to do is report on when we've had those meetings, unless we're told that the people are coming in want, for some reason, that information kept confidential. I'd like to just update you on things that you probably know about these things before we even hear about them, but just in case, just update you on anything that has come in the door where we've had these meetings recently. So the only one that we've had in the past 2 weeks, month is just earlier, because it was this week, we had folks come in about the Dutch Cousin campground. They have a new owner and they're looking to do some changes up there. They want to construct a new building, I guess expand or change some of the way, some of the things they do up there from having more of a long-term RV parking and camping that they have there now, and they want to construct a new building for recreation, community, not community, but a campground community center and recreation facilities outdoors and so forth. There's some zoning issues they need to work through before they can come in and do that. So that's what we have. That's what we had this time. We'll probably have a few more coming in.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
That's it. Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, financial administrator.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Trying to keep up with Mike tonight, so I have a pretty full agenda myself. I have the budget status report for January 2022 to present to you, and also the balance sheets. I added a new report, which is the cash receipts for February 2022. These numbers are not yet in the budget status report because, like I said, this is as of the end of January. So I wanted you to know where we are up to date. So cash receipts for February are $34,791.54 that are not reflected in the reports yet. So if there's no questions, I'll move on. The first item I have, at our pension meeting on January 19th, we made a motion to change the custodian for the non-uniform pension plan to nationwide. And I have the proposal from the investment advisor. And with this plan, it's pretty similar to what the employees have now. It just reduces the fees down to $2,000 a year. I believe we paid about $8,000 last year in fees. There's also fees of 2.1% that come out of the investment earnings that will be charged to the employees. But other than that, the fees are greatly reduced with this plan. So the next step with this is to send the information out to the employees and let them know how the plan is changing, and to get them ready to start picking their investments so we can move the money out of Ameritrade and into nationwide. The next item is the OPEB trust account. We had the actuarial study done in November. We pointed out that there are some funds available that could be used to put in a trust account if we wanted to go that direction. I did some projections and I looked at the OPEB study again. So this liability is going to last for 34 years. And if we invested that, this money at 3% for 34 years, we could double 100,000 to be able to use for this plan. Another option would be just to take this money and use it in 1 year and pay for it as we go.
And that's what we discussed at the last meeting and some, so Judy did reach out and got the proposal, we just got them, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday, so want to make sure we sort of put all that together, give it to you so you guys can see, here's an option versus the other one we talked about that we just used to pay off in 1 year, over 5 years, whatever the case may be, and really just a way of making sure we clean up that $100,000 that's sitting there. Do we want to invest it with other monies to help address this liability, or do we want to just make sure that gets used and then we move on? So something that you'll have, I'm sure she'll put everything together and then you guys will be able to decide which one.
Can you send me the raw Excel file?
Yes. Okay, and I also want to point out that this would be part of our existing trust agreement with the police pension plan. So we wouldn't start at the top tier of fees, we would start where we are with the police pension tier. And the fees wouldn't be as high as you would expect with a new trust plan being set up.
Do you have that number yet, what adding this additional separate fund would?
I don't.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that probably be relevant here in the future.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. The next item, I have a proposal from Iron Mountain. They do records retention, storage, and destruction. We've been talking about this for a while. We have $80,000 budgeted in the ARPA fund to get this project off the ground. So this is the first step. This first step is just moving the boxes that we currently have at the road shed that are kind of in a environment that is damp and dirty and not very good for paper records.
Not conducive to subpoenas, not even close.
So this first step would be to move those boxes to their location and to start sorting out what needs to be destroyed to create the resolution for that destruction. The cost is a storage fee of $200 a month. They're offering us a promotion where the initial move will be free and the first month's storage would be free. So basically it's $200 a month and that's for up to 204 boxes to be stored. And then if we need to pull a box back, I believe it turned out to be what, Mike was like $37 a box?
It was, I think, total like 45 when there was a fee to get it delivered the next day and then a pulling fee. So that would be one way, and then so both ways would be 90. But when we eventually get them scanned in, if we, or even in that case, if we send them out and we know which file we want out of that box, we could contact them and then they could scan it, pull it, and send it to us, and that's I think it's $25 to get multiple files that way as opposed to. The goal ultimately, as Judy mentioned, is to get these digitized records that we can. But really, right now, the first step is trying to go through and make sure we can identify what we have, what we can dispose of, and get them out of that shed and get them to a place that's climate controlled. And Judy, you had mentioned you and Shirley in March would be looking to do that.
Yes. If we can have a motion tonight to approve this agreement, then Shirley and I could start in March, and the timeline I have would have us finishing the move by the end of March.
Sure, the road crew will be happy.
Yes, right now they're pulling these boxes and bringing them out to us when we need them.
Right.
So, and that room is completely full. There's no more room to put anything out there.
Yes, well, this has been an ongoing issue. You know, I guess there's boxes been out there for, I don't know, Alan Fry for a long time.
Years.
Almost I've been here. Doug, how long have they been up there?
Years.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not climate controlled. I would say deterioration is happening.
I can vouch that it's happening. I've had to go through those boxes for some projects and the rubber bands are melting and there's asphalt getting in the papers and the edges are curling and they're wet. So it's not a very good place to store.
Yeah, I guess at budget time, we determined it was time to do something there. We budgeted the money. This is the step to move forward.
Yeah, it's amazing how much paper we have. And I know it's kind of a good team effort too, because this process being done, I know Sharon's been working on trying to update our digitized database and work through that process. So the staff's really pulling together, and I think the only thing I find that might be a little difficult is when we get those records out, there's already like 7 ideas that we have to fill that space back up with other stuff to get it out of here. So that space will be at a premium, but we really need to do it just to protect what we have and make sure that we can easily get it. So it's a good first step.
This is basically the only company out there that does this kind of.
I did watch a seminar on another service. From what I understand, it's the one that Penn Township uses, or it's similar to Penn Township. But what makes Iron Mountain unique is they will do the scanning and the scrubbing of the files. Like, when you think of how that stuff was stored, it's all paper clipped and it's all stapled and everything. And before you can scan that, you've got to remove all that stuff. You have to worry about whether it's single-sided or double-sided. You have to worry about whether it's 8.5 by 11 or it's a huge map or whatever. So this other company expected us, the staff, to do that work, which means buying plotter copiers and all kinds of equipment just to get it scanned. Where with Iron Mountain, as long as we fill out the forms and say what's in the boxes, and keep good detailed records of that, they will take the boxes and they will scan it, and they will let us know, hey, this is up for, the retention period on this is over, do you want to shred it? And then we just say yes, and then they shred it. We don't have to have it brought back here and then shred it. So it's gonna save us a lot of time by using Iron Mountain.
The condition of those records, it's extremely labor intensive before they get scanned.
The other company's just basically storage only.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense to move forward.
So I'll make a motion to contract with Iron Mountain to digitize our records with the promotion of the free move-in and free first month and the $200 a month moving forward.
Okay, and I will second that. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, none. Motion carries.
All right, and the last item I have is not on the agenda, but this afternoon I received the 2021 actuarial report for the police pension plan. I'm not really prepared to go over a whole lot of this tonight since I just got it, but I did just want to report that the estimates that Gerard had given us have come in and they're true. So at the end, at January 1st, 2019, our unfunded actuarial accrued liability was $1,808,862. And at January 1st, 2021, in 19, we were 76.2% funded. At January 1st, 2021, our unfunded actuarial accrued liability is and we're 99.9% funded.
Great,
And that's everything.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Judy? Okay, thanks, Judy. Okay, Roadmaster.
Good evening. I just want to start by saying, yeah, the road crew is definitely looking forward to that the archives room being cleared out, and I appreciate it. Moving forward with my report, major items. Road crew is back full of staff. We have one guy on light modified duty, which is good to have everybody back. Winter Christmas tree total for 2022 winter season was 165 collected at the Woody Waste site. Roadmaster has been working with Ken McCrae the last couple days to put together plans to possibly apply for an additional pipelining project. We're kind of still working through that. Plan to update you on the next meeting with that. Looking forward for the spring and summer, road crew has picked up all structures for the slide at the Reamstown Pool. All structures were powder coated by Ingham's Powder Coating. These structures will be reinstalled by the road crew in the early spring of 2022. Again, I think I noted this last meeting, street sweeping is tentatively scheduled for April 11th through April 14th with Martin's Paving Incorporated. Roadmaster has been working with RID2 in order to complete the bid process for the upcoming 2022 road improvement projects. Plan is to have this completed project documents by February 21st, 2022, and present authorization to bid to the Board of Supervisors at the March 3rd, 2022 meeting. For the fall period, crack sealing patches and roads have continued with the road crew back at full staff. Roadmaster has created a list to work through. And also in the next few weeks, we look to work on tree trimming along township roads. This was also, a list was also created to do so. And the road crew this week is in the process of installing a tax collector nightly drop box on the front door of the office at the main office door. And that's all I have for my report, which you have in front of you. The last thing that I did want to discuss tonight, just to kind of give you an update, is the salt shed that Ken McCrae and myself have been working on, trying to get numbers. There should be a proposal from Conestoga Buildings with kind of the plan that Ken and I had come up with. I originally got back in budget season. I had Conestoga give an estimate on a range for a structure. And I had, once Ken and I met out on site, kind of came up with what we were looking for, what I had an idea of. He gave his insight, and now they gave a more definite budget cost. So I'm basically asking the board for a direction with March coming up, March and spring approaching. I'm just looking for a direction to kind of keep this project moving along, and possibly get this out to bid at some point. If that's something that the engineer RID2 could look over and kind of draw up plans and get this thing out to bid. I'm just looking for help and a direction from the board, and the wish of the board for this project.
So,
Well, it's something I just initially saw yesterday in the packet. The details of it, I'm a little sketchy on yet.
Okay.
Brett, I would ask that, we could meet out there just so I could get a clear vision of what your thoughts are here and design and all that location.
Absolutely.
Maybe next week we could set that up. I don't know, gentlemen, if you're clear on what the thoughts are. Mike, maybe you could fill in some blanks or.
Sure. At the meeting or right now? I'm gonna go deep on your fellowship, but, yeah, we had budgeted this, you know, this kind of has been in the budget for a while, it's kind of sort of been scaled down a little, and we were looking at the possibility of, you know, could those ARPA monies be used to do this? I think the key is when Brett had given me this was just to make sure that we get in front of you, we get this discussion going so that if the direction is let's do it, there's a process to do this, we're gonna have to draw them up, we're gonna have to bid it, do all that. So I think it's a great idea to meet out at the site, look at what we're talking about, answer any questions, and maybe give you a chance to, as a new supervisor, take a tour if you haven't already done so of that building out there and see what some of those challenges are. So we can set that up, but I think even if you wanna, I know you guys all have different schedules, I'm sure Brett can, you know, sort of work with each of you as you come in and take a look.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, that would help me see a little what the concept is here and what your thought process is.
Yep, that works for me. We can definitely plan around everybody's schedule and make that happen.
Great. Great, I will be in contact.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Okay. Okay, any questions for the roadmaster?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Jeff Garner, Eden Circle. Over the last 2 years, Quail Hollow was paved and South Money Creek Road was paved 2 different times. I'm not sure if anybody's been out there and looked at the conditions going into Quail Hollow off of South Money Creek Road. But I'm sure mechanics are making a good living on fixing suspensions, because when Money Creek Road was paved, it created a hump going into Quail Hollow, and I'm surprised there's not more accidents going into Quail Hollow, because you have to almost, if you're familiar with development, which I am, I think the chairman can speak for it, you know to slow down to get into the development, but somebody entered that development, you're gonna bottom the car out. So, and then to reiterate that, up at Money Creek Church, going to the right, if you're heading towards Adamstown, that water problem has gotten progressively worse. Now when it freezes, are any conditions gonna be made to fix those? Because before, when Quail Hollow was paved, it was beautiful. When they came in and paved South Money Creek Road, it's been a nightmare.
So
Well,
can I make a statement quick?
go ahead, Brett.
Yeah, so talking with PennDOT in reference to that spot there where South Muddy Creek ties into Quail Hollow, they do plan in the spring to come back and make adjustments to that to take that dip away or minimize it as much as possible, whether they have to mill back on each side, or they do have plans to come in there and take care of that, because they have gotten numerous complaints to themselves for that specific area.
Yeah, let me add to that also. It's actually good timing because 2 of our board members are here for Quail Hollow. And I'll summarize it, fill in the blanks for me. There was a considerable amount of work by you guys to chase down PennDOT and the appropriate PennDOT engineers to force them out there and to actually make them commit to coming out and getting that done this spring, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Yeah, so it's,
Okay.
yeah,
Can I ask
it's pretty bad.
It's terrible, and even during the paving, I mean, when these guys talk to PennDOT, the conditioning of those bridges on South Money Creek Road, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. I mean, and that was for months. Yeah, that's thank you, that's great to know.
Where's you had mentioned a second one about icing and.
It's up on, it's in, if you're at the stop sign at White Creek Church and you're making a right, it's right where their parking lot is, the church's parking lot is by the cemetery. That really only held maybe the size of a basketball. Now it goes into the yellow line, that whole section will hold water. So like, if you go up, if we get a good rain tonight, there'll be standing water there, and then if it freezes, and the road crew probably doesn't know about it, you know, because of the freezing, but it's gotten worse since they did that paving. I know I remember seeing them out there one time trying to fix it, and I think when they fixed it, tried to fix it, it's made it worse, so it's really bad.
Yeah, and confirming what Jeff's saying, they arched it, Mike. So I think when they left that arch in there, they left such a severe arch in there, it's pouring all that water into that one spot.
Brett, we have the contact name for the county maintenance person, correct?
Yes, I do. I do have that contact.
Why don't we get in touch?
I'll reach out to him and we'll plan accordingly as far as maybe a meeting or on site or whatever. But I'll speak with him. I'll give him a call first thing tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Right, MS4, Ken.
Yes, the AV system. We have the new microphone and audio system in here. The microphone over the audience is hanging up there. It's fairly small, a white thing in the center of the room. It's actually a microphone array. There are 3 separate microphones in there which are electronically switched depending upon what direction the sound is coming from. It all runs into the back closet there where there's the amplifier that we had before, plus a couple of preamps that mix it all together, and then it gets sent over here to this. There's another preamp here, which then feeds it into the system, and it all seems to be working pretty well. And the folks out on Zoom are indicating that it's you can hear people fairly well now. I think we've solved that problem.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on, treasurer's report.
Okay, on the treasurer's report, we have a total general fund bank account listed bills in the amount of $65,663.08. And it's presented as listed in the report. Is there any questions of that? Brian Wise.
Brian White. Page 2, middle of the, down there, check number 62023, for reimbursement for CDL. And then with that, I'm going over to the next page on 3 of 5 for PSAT CDL test. That's check 2044 for $120. Is that a new test, or is what are?
Yeah, my guess is.
It's, the second one that you mentioned was for the random drug testing.
Okay, it's ordered for a random
Yeah.
test, okay.
Yeah.
And the other one, was that for a new test or a?
That was to reimburse for the renewal of the license.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yes, sir.
Doug Mack, on page 2, check number 62115. Late fees, RE taxes, is that, we're collecting or are we being billed or what's the deal?
I believe that was in reference to the tax collector.
Correct. Yes,
And
that was to
that was
send
a-
out the late notices.
That was a postage issue, wasn't it? Or what was that?
No, I believe that was to print the forms.
Print the forms.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Seeing none, I make a motion to approve as presented.
I will second that. Any other questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, none. Motion carries.
Okay, and we also have a light fund account in the amount of $27,423.81. Are there any questions there? Seeing none, I make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, none, and the motion carries.
And also, we have an electronic payment list of bills. That would be a payroll dated from 2/16, or no, excuse me, for a pay period of 1/30/22 to 2/12/2022, and an amount of $81,718.94. I make a motion to approve as presented.
And I will second that. Any questions? Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, none, motion carries.
Now also, being we have not put that resolution in place as a board, we've received different bills that have come in just in the last day that could not be included on this list of bills, but do need to be paid before our next meeting. So I would ask the board to make a motion to approve the healthcare and equipment lease and life insurance bills upon validation of the township manager, financial administrator, and treasurer. And they will be put on the next list of bills. So that'll be a motion.
I will make that motion.
Okay, and I will second that.
We have a motion and second.
Any
Questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none, motion carries.
Okay, and that is the treasurer report for tonight.
Okay. Moving on, old business. Before we move on to old business, I just have a statement to make. I wanted to report to the community that the 2020 W-2s for the township that had been misplaced have been located. The files were secure at all times. They were in the care, custody, and control of Weinhold Nichols. They were at Weinhold Nichols at the time because they are the township's payroll accountant. And they were required to be there in order to respond or address any questions that were related to township payroll taxes for the audit. Thank you. Fire services. Old business. Gentlemen, so at the last meeting, or I'm sorry, 2 meetings ago, I presented a conceptual idea where the program for the fire services in terms of trying to find a way to assist, incentivize, or retain volunteers in fire programs. There was an extensive presentation related to that with all of the data surrounding a lot of the struggles the fire departments are having. And I presented a concept for a model with the mission statement that read, to help reduce the impact of volunteer shortages by providing increased incentives and recognition directly to East Cocalico Township individual firefighters for a stronger community. As I said in the next steps, I wanted to ask you, now that you had some time to digest this and think about it, what is the wishes of the board in terms of, again, this is not a definitive exact program. It's a concept, it's an idea. And before we spend any funds whatsoever in terms of manpower, in terms of checking with legal if it's even feasible, okay? I wanted to see if you, as the board, were interested in the proposal to move forward, spend minimal funds, mainly time invested in terms of modeling and researching the viability of the program. So.
I think it's important to see what the volunteers get the feedback from them. Before, as you said, we put much time into this. Let's see what the concept and how it's received by the companies. I don't know what their thoughts are yet. I'm waiting, I guess, for for Mike and Lorenzo to make those comment or contacts to see what feedback we get. I think Mike's got the concept down pat. Lorenzo understands where your thought process is. Let's see what feedback we get from them as to what interest there is from them to proceed.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's a good idea and it'd be a great conversation starter. See what they're thinking, get their ideas, and then bring it back to the board and go from there. I think Mike has tried to figure out times, but we've been unsuccessful still.
Yeah, I think, Monday I'm gonna meet with the chiefs, the three chiefs, for another issue, and I was hoping to maybe try to get from them some times to match up with you and set that up at that time, so.
Yeah, okay, so that's what I was just asking. So we have clear direction on the next action item. Right, and so
Really comes back to
get some
what the
feedback
feedback is,
with that presentation
with the presentation.
and the concept.
If they have any questions, I'm assuming they could probably call you and get some clarification.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any questions? Okay. All right, public comment for non-agenda items. Again, please state your name clearly, just it helps us and Lisa with the meeting minutes. Thank you. And yes, ma'am.
Nedra Beringer. I would like to address the intersection of Route 272 and Denver Road. There's a right-hand lane to turn into Denver Road that has arrows marked on the road for straight ahead and right turn. When there's a couple cars waiting to go straight ahead, nobody can turn right until the light changes. And then there's only a short distance for those the straight ahead ones to cut into merge with the traffic that's going straight ahead. And I've seen some close accidents there. I would like to see that straight ahead arrow removed and make it a right turn lane only.
That's a state road, right? Is that one, that's the state intersection?
Yeah.
I often see a police cruiser parked up there in front of the Dunkin' Donuts. And I wonder how many they've seen trying to cut into that.
I'm sure quite a few.
Yeah.
So it's going towards Denver?
No. Well, it's going towards,
Green
it's going south.
Are you going south?
I gotta say it, I guess I said it right there, it's going toward Reeves.
Reeves.
So it's going where you have the 2 lanes and the other lane comes in.
Yep,
Yeah.
merges.
It goes into a right
So if
hand
there's
from the
5
main.
cars going straight in the straight lane, there's an opening, we'll go.
Try to squeeze it.
That's when you try to floor it and hit that other guy.
Plus, it's irritating when you're 2 or 3 down and want to make a right turn to have to wait for the red light to change.
Everyone's in a hurry.
I know. Lot to do.
Yeah.
Maybe a traffic circle there.
No! I'm trying to get away from a traffic circle.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Doug Macklin. Jeff, at the last meeting, you promised me a reply to the letter that you got from Craig Eversole.
Yes.
I'm still waiting.
I looked for that. I was unable to locate it. I'm sorry, sir.
All right, so all 3 supervisors got one. Lorenzo, do you have one you could give to me?
I have to look for it.
You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
How about you, Archie? Do you have one you can give to me? I mean, it was mentioned in a public meeting, it's discoverable.
It's discoverable.
It's discoverable.
I have a copy of that.
Since the other 2 can't seem to locate their stuff.
I will give my copy to Mr. Mitchell.
Okay, then I can expect Jeff to follow through on his promise. All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
Alan Maxwell from Zoom has a question.
Good evening, everyone. I appreciate the opportunity. I unfortunately lost internet connection halfway through the last meeting, so I had to go back and review the YouTube video of it. And the last 30 minutes to me were particularly disturbing. as a resident of the township and someone who's learning the process of what we do. It's very clear to me, the three gentlemen sitting in the front of that room there tonight have been elected by the residents of the township to lead the township, using their best discretion and experience and knowledge to pick and choose the decisions they make and to make them in the appropriate manner. When we have a disagreement with them, healthy discussion is a good thing. But when that discussion devolves into attacks, attempts to discredit, it's very disappointing from a resident standpoint. We're better than that. But the other issue is we as a township have been stagnant in our committees and our commissions for way too long. Same people in the committees, same people on the commissions. That comfort level is there, and we don't get anything moved forward in a rapid manner. We need fresh ideas in the township. Mr. Ebersol made that very clear in his parting comments on his last day, and I fully agree with that. These three gentlemen in the front of the room support that in getting new ideas and fresh blood and fresh people into our township and our committee leadership. I believe we need to put forward, and maybe one of the board of supervisors can do that, term limits for our committee members and our commission members. So they can't just sit on there for 5, 6, 7, 10 years. We need to constantly have new people coming into our township leadership. And when we sit there and we, in my opinion, everything that was said last meeting was an attempt to protect themselves, as an attempt to maintain the status quo in our committee membership. And we need to change. We need to grow. And we need people on our committees and on our committees and our commissions that will help us move forward and grow. But the bottom line is those three gentlemen sitting at the front of that room, we put up there to lead us to the best of their ability. And our role as residents is to ask questions in an intelligent manner, but it's also to support them in their decision-making and help them move us forward. And I hope that we never have another meeting like we had last meeting, that we can move forward and we can all grow and work towards a better township. That's what we all want, or at least that's what we all say we want. But we have to be willing to step aside sometimes and let new people take over and move forward. And I just wanted to put that out there as a resident of the township, that I want to see us move past that meeting and stop the attacks and start helping these gentlemen up there lead our township forward and move it in a positive manner. I appreciate your time. I would hope to get to the next meeting so that I can talk with some of you in person if you have a disagreement with me. But I really think we need to focus on moving forward and supporting those three gentlemen as they do their very best to lead this township. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think there was a, yes, sir.
I have two things, but that gentleman, I didn't catch his name. I want to thank him for, my name's Jeff Carter. I want to thank you for him saying that, because I'm gonna reiterate, I agree with pretty much everything that he said. The one thing that was disturbing at that last meeting too, I heard on Zoom, was, you have people that would want to volunteer, but when they hear some of those attacks at a meeting, and they're like, do I even want to volunteer? Do I want to step up? So my hat's off to him for voicing his opinion. I second that. I think we need to, Mr. Chairman, throw the gavel down sometimes and just stop it. That's stuff for you guys to work out in executive meetings. Throw the gavel on people and just lead the meetings. So that was on that. My second thing is, has any road study been done for coming out of Muddy Creek Road onto 272, right by the antique dealership, by the Grove at Muddy Creek Church? Has any road study been done for that with a traffic light? That is a painful stop sign to come out to on any given night. And I know, I keep hearing that we're doing this and we're doing that, but has any survey been done for that particular area? I know there's been a lot of fender benders in that area as well. A lot of people using the, shoulder you have to be pulling up almost out into that shoulder lane to look around traffic because cars making a right turn to Adamstown are up too far. And then you have speed, guys are coming around that want to turn to go towards, Schwartzville or, towards Smokestown. You're gonna get clocked at that intersection, so is anything being considered for that specific area, 272?
So, yeah, to your point, I know multiple residents that drive around the back there to get to 897 just to be able to pull out safely on the 272. They'll travel out of their way. You know, it's one of the challenges that we have. We have multiple intersections up and down 272 that could all stand some improvement. So where do you prioritize it? You know, down Church Street, there's accidents. You know, as you said, right there at Muddy Creek, there's accidents. You know, we can't do it all at one time. Becomes the issue, and it seems like PennDOT's not there to really step up and handle any part of that either.
Well, are we, as the village that's going in there by Quail Hollow, is that all those residents that are gonna go in there, is that being taken into consideration, that that's more traffic that's gonna come out at that intersection? Are we looking?
Yeah, when they do their scoping meetings with PennDOT, we identify a series of intersections that could be impacted, in our opinion. PennDOT has theirs as well, and the developer does, but for a couple of them we've looked at on that corridor, we've added that intersection as well because of the expectation of the additional traffic and what that may cause to that area. Now, we did also reach out to the county to see about making the county aware of some of these intersections. That was one of them that we would like to see somehow maybe added to the TIP project to get funding to make some improvements there. So we're trying to get it from that end on the radar for some state money and possibly federal money, depending on where those money sources come from. But as those developments come in, they're included in part of those studies as to what may be impacted by the people going in there. So, yeah, that's a long answer for what you just said.
Thank you.
For reference, the previous speaker was Alan Maxwell.
Okay, thanks, Alan.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Donnie Stover, I had a couple of things. Just seeing the night and seeing how full this room is, and the township's growing, you're adding staff. You think it's time maybe we start looking ahead at like remodel and expansion of this building, or looking to build a new building because of you guys are running out of space here. We're paying somebody $200 a month now to start holding records for us. That maybe we ought to start processing of another, either do something with this building or build another building. Just a thought.
Yeah, you think the building for the cars?
Just a thought.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the second thing is some of the fire officials were meeting last week, and in the meeting was brought up that Mr. Mitchell, in January, you contacted one of them to see how things are going if we needed anything. And I'm just wondering why you didn't contact the other fire chiefs in the township to ask them the same question.
Do you want to meet?
Well,
Lorenzo's talking about meeting with all.
Well, I just didn't know if you reached out to one about.
Do you want me to come by? When's your next meeting?
March.
You've already met this month?
Yeah. I just wonder.
March when? I'll put it on my calendar.
March 14th.
Do you want me to stop in? I'll stop
Sure.
in.
You can do that.
March 14th?
7:30.
I'll put it on my calendar. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Yes, sir.
Don Miller. Last meeting, there was a discussion about the assistant fire official. Was there any candidates that put in for that? Do we know?
No, on the 21st, I'll be meeting with the 3 fire chiefs to discuss that further.
Okay. All right. Second question also, with the new vehicle coming from the road crew, I'm not sure, maybe the board needs to think about it. I don't think any of the vehicles probably have like GPS monitoring in them. Is it a good idea to protect the township, protect the employee, and possibly lower insurance, put GPS in vehicles? I know I work for a very large company. All the companies I work for had them. It's a good big brother, but you don't use it unless you need it, and it's a good reference.
Isn't the GPS monitoring really designed for fleets that are going well outside a small area and jurisdiction?
Say that question again?
Isn't the GPS monitoring, wasn't it really designed for large fleets where they had their fleet vehicles going outside very, very large areas?
Yeah.
Because
It could be discretionary. I know a couple other municipalities have them in their vehicles.
Yeah, because ours tend to be pretty well
Oh,
concentrated.
agreed. I know as far as when I was at Windstream and also Verizon, yeah, we're globally, but I still have a local area that's very small, and I utilize it. I don't watch it, but someone says, hey, they hit my mailbox. I go back and look at the tracking of it. Sorry, that vehicle was not even close to that mailbox. Kind of protection, helps insurance, just something to look at.
Yeah, I think,
At the board.
like last, I guess in August or so, I contacted a couple other municipalities and looked just to start that process of looking at it. We didn't go into the budget with it, but it was an early part of it, so it may be something down the road to consider.
Chief, do you see that as a, helpful in any kind of, when accidents happen there, as a, evidentiary?
Usually sold as a maintenance item, so you know when the car needs some kind of maintenance, so you know when the car needs an oil change, so you know when that. It can also be looked at as a morale killer, police departments, being honest. I know that. Why are you tracking the officers? I'm not saying that it's good or bad, I'm just saying it could be a potential morale killer. And for accidents, we have the body cams and in-car cameras set up that if someone's in an accident, they'll take on. So there's that evidence that goes back 30 seconds. It doesn't have audio to it, but it has the video for what occurred. And we have used that in the past, so. Would that be your opinion?
Yeah, so that idea wouldn't be helpful in the trucks if there's something happens.
Well, again, they don't have the cameras and that system in them, so I don't know how, I'm not sure of the cost compared to the value of it.
Okay.
I guess that's a kind of a different thing with those type of vehicles and those employees and those individuals, so.
Fair enough.
Alan Maxwell, there are several GPS tracking systems out there for small companies, for small use, that are designed to tie into the ECM to do just what the chief was saying: monitor oil change, monitor engine metrics. And I've found in my experience using them and implementing new systems in the companies that presentation to your drivers and to your staff is key in getting acceptance to that. It can be looked at as a morale killer, but most of these systems are not designed for 24/7 recording. There's key events that prompt it to record. But the ECM tracking for engine oil maintenance and service and problems with that engine is invaluable information for small businesses to have. And East Cocalico is very much a small business. So there are options out there designed for small locations, small areas, that might be a viable solution for, or ideas for us to consider.
Yes, sir.
Brian Wise, the two companies I drive for, both of them have GPS, one small, one larger. I have nothing against it, keeps everyone honest. You don't have that he said, she said, like Alan, Mr. Maxwell was saying there, hard braking, wheel spin, your engine throws a code, or if in fact municipality-wise, you would have a resident said they saw that truck speeding down such and such road. You can look it up on the, number one, that truck was never there, or yes, in fact, that truck was only doing 35. Plus the reduction in the insurance. So, like I said, years ago, I would have said no, but after having them in both trucks, I have nothing to hide. It's nothing but a win-win.
Okay, thank you. Something to consider. Okay, any other questions? All right, the next Board of Supervisor meeting will be on Thursday, March 3rd. It'll be at 7 PM in person, here at the building, and I'm sorry, it's Stevens, correct. Excuse me, I stand corrected, thank you. At Stevens Fire Company at 7 PM. And that's at 91 Stevens Road, and it will also be, of course, on Zoom Live. Gentlemen, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And I will second that. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Thank you.